So we are here today with Junior Tupai, candidate for Lieutenant Governor of the entire state of Hawaii. How you doing, Junior?
I'm doing great, Rai. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, really good. It's a little bit hot where I'm at today, but other than that, I'm doing all right. So the question that I got asked the most about your candidacy was which candidate for governor you supported. Now, I know you can't answer that question because that's an illegal question, but I do have a question that's kind of related. Maybe you can answer. Which candidate for governor do you not support? Can you answer that, or is that illegal too?
Actually, I've met all of them so far. I can work with any of them.
Wait, no. Are you just talking about the Republicans or Republicans and Democrats?
I'm talking about the R side.
Okay,
Yes,
so on the R side, so on the D side, is there anybody that who do you think would be the worst for the future of Hawaii on the D side? I mean, since they're an enemy anyway, can you say that legally?
Can I say that legally? Campaign manager? Yeah, I don't think I could work with Green.
Which one was that?
Green, yeah.
Oh, with Green, Josh Green.
I mean, like, for me, my attitude is I think I could work with anyone, but someone like that, I just over the past 2 years, what's been happening, there's just some things I couldn't see eye to eye with.
Well, you've got a supporter definitely on this side of the camera. I am not a fan of Josh Green at all, as you'll find out due to some of my questions later. First serious question, though. Who is your political hero? Who's one of your political heroes?
That is a great question. Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Okay. All right. A little bit of a safe answer. What specifically about Thomas Jefferson do you like?
I like the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, what it stands for, what it notates.
You just lost my vote. JK. But by the way, this is I'm asking you questions in an interview format. However, there are right and wrong answers.
Okay.
But they're pass-fail. I'm actually going to go ahead and give you a pass on the Thomas Jefferson. That was a pass, not a fail. What is the biggest issue today facing Hawaiian families?
I think the biggest thing right now actually is going to be affordability, homelessness, housing. Those are the three biggest things right now.
So you're talking about the economy, which is great because that's the way you win an election. You got to talk about the economy. I mean, we're entering an era of hyperinflation. The Federal Reserve just printed 80% of the money supply or something ridiculous.
Right.
So, I mean, what do you think are the best ways to deal with hyperinflation?
We need to deregulate. We need to decentralize a lot of these things that are happening. We are the second highest taxed state out of all 50 states. We have the 48, you could say COVID lockdown-ish out of all 50 states. Our state needs to open up. We need to open up the economy. The small businesses suffered for the past 2 years. That is something that would help out tremendously. Another thing is we need to get back to self-sustainability with a lot of these different programs, different nonprofits happening in our communities. Get back to the actual INA and stop relying on different foreign types of modes of currency or more so business. Yeah, and keep it here locally in the state.
Well, I definitely support that. I'm a big back to the land kind of supporter.
Right.
Generationally, too, going back for a long time. What motivated you to run for lieutenant governor?
Right. Great question, Ryan. I was not political at all. I'm not a career politician. I actually coached football at Hilo High for about 9 seasons, 1 year at Kamehameha Schools. Was working as an instructor for the at-risk youth program with the Hawaii National Guard Youth Challenge Academy for about 14 cycles. And currently, I'm a pastor right now, but I've been going around the islands teaching people their constitutional rights. I saw a disconnect with those in office and with what the people were saying in the communities in the Big Island, in Hilo, in Waimea, in Kona, in Kauai, in Molokai, in Maui, even in Oahu, in Mapunapuna, Kalihi, the different parts of the islands, and realized because of that disconnect that we do need new servants in office. And like I said, it's never been something that I've even entertained until a fellow pastor actually asked me, have you ever considered running for office? You need to pray about it. Long story short, here I am. That's all she wrote, and the pen broke, and we're running full speed ahead.
Okay, well, I don't know if you know, but being lieutenant governor can be a challenging job. I was involved in some of the protests that were outside of Josh Green's house night after night after night during the COVID lockdown back when I was on Oahu. What's the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job. I think when I was in 10th grade, I used to scrape gum from underneath tables.
Wait. Is this a professional paid job you had?
Yeah. It was a community program to give people trade skills.
And your trade skill was to scrape gum?
Yeah, I was a custodial aide.
Oh.
Not a janitor, custodial aide.
So I don't want to reveal your age and make you upset, but how much were you getting paid per hour for that job?
That one, I do not remember. It's maybe around $10, maybe.
$10 an hour.
Yeah, something like that.
You got to be way younger than me. My first job was like $3 an hour. So, now I'm upset about my age. Where do you take in media? Altogether, I mean, like right now, one of the reasons I'm running my news show is because I had such a problem with all the blatant lies and completely disgusting content on CNN, MSNBC, Fox. I mean, all the corporate news channels are just total garbage. Right. But then, I mean, zooming out, everything on Netflix is garbage. Disney is like, super grooming, pedophile, disgustingness. Where do you take in media? What kind of media do you trust? I mean, are there some reporters you like, some news you like?
Right. Media in general, I don't watch CNN. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch ABC. I don't watch any mainstream media. A lot of times I'll get my sources from Steve Bannon and War Room. I'll also pull from X22 sometimes, a little bit here and there. I also, I track, say, Grassroots Institute for some policy type things. I'll also track different alternative media sources, like Andy with Surfing for Truth, Kyle with Hawaii Free News Now. I also track Craig with Liberty Free Press. I also track Lucky Ito. He's with Conservative Oos or Poly Exit. That's the Polynesian exit out of the Democrat Party. And also now I'm watching Rye, checking him out, what he's talking about. Because in the end, these alternative news sources, they're going to be more unfiltered. A lot of these things that you see on CNN, on KHON, on the Star Honolulu Advertiser, all these different Hawaii platforms, it's all promulgated and it's a certain narrative that's perpetuated because the metric is set by private special interest groups.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. It's why I'm running the channel, and honestly, I love Surfing for Truth. I love Craig. I love Kyle. I was very inspired by my friends in the Hawaii Alternative Press when I was there in Honolulu. So certainly appreciate the shout outs to those guys, and honestly, shout out to them again because they are doing great work, and thank you for mentioning them. What's one of the biggest mistakes you've ever made?
One of the biggest mistakes.
You thought you were going to get all softballs, huh?
Yeah, no, this is
no softball, bro. Let me hear your biggest mistake.
Not discerning the moments when something should have been a no instead of a yes, and then being bound to that and trying to find a way to get out of that. I think that's a tough thing, even looking now, superimposing that situation here in the office, running for public, to be a public servant. It's making sure that the calls that you make are right. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. It has to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's a big thing. Just giving your word, because a man and a woman is only as good as their word.
Well, I agree with that for sure. Here's a random question for you. Somebody hands you a suitcase, like $1 billion in it, and you can do whatever you want from now on. Then you're not running for lieutenant governor. You don't have responsibilities. I want the selfish answer. Okay, this is because it's about getting to know you as a person, right? So if you had $1 billion and zero responsibility, which I know is a tough one for you to put yourself in, right? Given what I know about your background or whatever. But if you did have $1 billion and no responsibility, what would you do tomorrow?
I'd give a bunch of money to different ministries, different nonprofits.
No. Selfish answer.
That's actually my selfish answer. I would give it literally.
No. I'm saying ministries don't exist. There's no Salvation Army. No good causes, bro. You got $1 billion, and it's just for you to go have fun and party. What do you do?
Honestly, I'd probably get my family, get them some land, get some houses, help out some of the other people in the community. Like, for real.
Listen, I understand. I'm the same way. I have ethics. I have morals. Right. But this is about getting to know the candidate. If you have no responsibility and infinite funds, and tomorrow they were like, Junior, you have no responsibility tomorrow. We don't show up, don't help, don't do anything. There's no wrong answer here. You can go watch Star Wars. You can go play Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't know what you're going to do. Tell me what you do if you had like absolutely no responsibility and infinite money.
I would go buy an Arnold Palmer, which is like a lemonade, which within some iced tea. I just go down to the beach, grab a chair, and just chill and drink.
Just hang on the beach?
Yep.
So you could be a billionaire for free, basically?
Yes.
Or for the price of an Arnold Palmer?
You could say that, yeah.
Well, I have much more expensive taste, but good for you. All right, you mentioned it earlier, and I know we talked about it when I talked to you on the phone, but you mentioned the homeless problem.
Right.
What do you think we can do about the homeless?
Homeless, that's one of the big issues here. I think according to UCLA, what is that program, California program policy stats, they say 3/4 of people who live on the streets, in cars, in tents, they suffer from either serious mental disorders or from drug addiction or from both. One of the factors for homelessness is affordability and also unemployment. So some of the solutions for that is what we really need actually is the government. I'm talking about decentralizing. See, say if you get like a grant from the government, if it goes through a homeless program, which the government runs, the homeless people might touch 15% of that money. Whereas if that money goes through a community program, a nonprofit of some sort, you'll see about 85 to 90% of that money touch the actual homeless people. So what we need to do is get those grants into nonprofit organizations who focus specifically on faith, on education, on mental disorders, on emotional disorders, healing, those types of things, on giving them job skills, and then reprogramming and actually helping to reconfigure just the whole mindset, mental, emotional, job skills, whatever, and then repurpose them back into the community. That's a big thing that I see, that the money has to go through community programs. The communities have the answers, not more government agencies. We need to decentralize. We need less bureaucracy, and we need more empowerment into the communities. Over the past 2 years, you've seen this, a lot of regulations. Open up the small businesses, take all this stuff off, reduce some of the taxes that have been pushed on the small business owners. So the back end, they get more incentive to come back. They can produce more, and also the people, the consumers, can spend more.
Well, that's one of the best answers I've gotten so far. I had this idea for 3D printing concrete bunkers where everything was just one solid piece of concrete, so they couldn't smash them no matter what. And then the hot water goes off at 7 a.m. And so if they're still in there, they get a free shower. That was my idea. But okay, I like your idea. And I agree with you too. I mean, I do think that especially incentivizing, small business and getting away from these giant corporations.
Right.
I mean, the corporations seem to just extract capital. You mentioned small businesses. How many restaurants have shut down due to your fascist predecessor, Josh Green?
Wow, that is a great question. Many restaurants. We actually lost a lot of small businesses, 40, 50-year-old businesses that are gone for good because of these unlawful mandates.
What do you think would be the best way to get those going again or support them if they're, trying to start up again?
Right. We need to rescind all mandates, all remaining mandates. All businesses should be able to open up to full capacity, not just with the patrons, but also with the employees. It should be full capacity. I know it's kind of indirect, but we need to take the masks off the kids. I mean, if you don't have to wear masks indoors nowadays, why don't we just have school indoors nowadays so the kids don't have to wear masks,
I certainly feel like myself and my friends believe strongly that the World Economic Forum is going to bring back COVID or some other BS pandemic or plandemic.
Right.
So this is a quick, easy question. It's an A or B question, okay? So easy way to get a pass or fail on this one. Do we A, tell our most vulnerable seniors to stay home, or B, devastate the entire population again?
Wow. A.
Man, you passed that one with flying colors.
It should be a choice. It's just common sense. If you're sick or you stay home.
I guess the larger question is, how do we prevent this insane government overreach and these, globalist psychopaths from doing this to our population again?
I think General Flynn said it best. People have to get involved in our local government. We have to change. We have to hulu the system, and it starts at the ground, at the grassroots. Get involved with your school boards. Get involved with the PTA meetings. Really listen to what's going on. There's a lot of stuff happening. Get involved with the different committee, the county councils. Get involved. Volunteer. And then from there, work your way up. Run as a representative here in our islands, or run as a state senator. Run for lieutenant governor or governor. We need new servants in office. When you have 77% of the people here in the state of Hawaii that are against the rail and they still pass that stuff, there's a disconnect with that. When you have at least 95% of the people in this state who are against the vaccine passport, but the island of Oahu still passes that vaccine passport, there is a disconnect with that. Because these people in office are not leaders, they are not authorities, they are trustees and servants. Trustees are people who are acquired and appointed by law to execute a trust. What is the trust? A United States Constitution, a Hawaii State Constitution, Declaration of Independence. These are trusts that these trustees are accounted and required by law to execute these documents. And quite frankly, these trustees have broken the trust of the people. Talk is cheap, and there's been so much rhetoric. We need new people in office who are going to honor their oaths and be the trust protectors of the people, who are going to fulfill their oaths and put the people first, of the people, by the people, for the people. We look at our state motto, Umau Ke'ea Oka'aina Ikapono, that the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. And the only way that's going to happen right now that we see, we need new servants in office. When I see someone who's been in office for 30 plus years, walking around downtown Chinatown, talking about we need to change this, we need to change that, we need to switch this, it's time for change. No, you've had 30 plus years to change something. The changes put you out of office and put new servants in office, because the disconnect is unreal. We need new people. I'd rather take the first 100 names in the telephone book than what we have right now. Are there good people across the board? Yes, there are, but it's few and far between. We need new servants who are going to echo and resonate the will of the people.
Ooh, that's a good answer. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in the pass category. Okay, I got another easy one for you. Okay, this is another A or B question. All right. Protesters are outside of your house as Lieutenant Governor. Okay. Do you A, meet with them and discuss options, or B, go on national news and call them anti-Semites?
I'm gonna have to go with a capital A. Yeah. You can look at several of these documents, the softball pitch, but let me run some bases now. You know what it is these trustees who are servants of the people should be amenable to the people at all times, should be answerable to the people at all times, should be accountable to the people at all times. So if a constituency group or a person comes up to me at 12:30 on a Saturday morning when I'm passing out signs at a Bank of Hawaii, I should be amenable to these people, to hear their grievances and to have some sort of resolution, or if they already have the resolution, listen to what the answers are and be answerable to the people, be accountable to them, because they put me in office.
You mean you're not just going to run away and hide?
No, sir. Even if it's a hard conversation, the hard dialogue, that's the only way. We have to come to some sort of meeting place. That's how you have pono. You have to come together and meet at the table. You have to have those hard conversations. When parents see the strife between brothers and sisters, or brothers and brothers, or sisters within the families, they come. When we come at night, we bring out the uke, we're singing a couple songs, we're reading some scriptures, but at the same time, hey, Junior, hey, George, hey, Kalani, hey, Malia, come together. What happened? And we hear the sides, and we come to a meeting of the minds. There's no meeting of the minds if you don't meet your employees, if you don't meet your employers, because the people are the employers. The servants, those in office, are the employees, and we're answerable to the people. As soon as the people come in, the servants should step up. They should rise up because their bosses just came in. They should be answerable to those bosses.
Well, I'm going to give you a pass on that one because you mentioned one of my favorite things, Kani Kapila. Love a good Kani Kapila. And I do agree with you too. I think if we had more Kani Kapila just in our community, it's both small and large, I do think that people would see eye to eye more. I mean, they're hanging out, they're being friends, there's more aloha, the whole thing. So I'm with you on that. This is actually my final question. So I hope that I haven't grilled you too hard today on the show. But this is my final question. How much money have you received from Pfizer?
How much money have I received from Pfizer? Zero.
Well, that makes you significantly better off than our current Lieutenant Governor. So, all right, Junior Tupai, thank you so much for being on the show. Any final words, any final thoughts?
I'll end with this quote from Daniel Webster, the father of Noah Webster, who's the author of the dictionary. He said, "I apprehend no threat to us from a foreign foe. Our destruction, should it come at all, will come from another quarter. From the inattention of the people to the conduct of their public servants. From their carelessness and negligence, I must confess that I do apprehend some danger. I fear they may place too implicit a confidence in their public servants and fail to properly scrutinize them, that in doing so, we may be made the dupes of designing men and become the instruments of our own demise. However, if we make the people intelligent, they will become vigilant. Give them the means and the knowledge to detect the wrong, and they will apply the remedy. The bottom line is, there are more people who are waking up, who are becoming intelligent, that, a scripture says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. When knowledge is being disseminated, wisdom is coming out, and people are realizing they're seeing the wrong. And they're arming themselves with the knowledge, just like this show today with Rye, that, you know what? We're seeing the wrong and we're going to apply the remedy. What's part of the remedy? We're running for office. If you have a grace, if you have a conviction to run for office, you run for office. All it is, it's a bigger shovel. It's a bigger broom to serve the people. So if you have a grace, you have conviction, you want to serve, run for office, run for representative, run for Senate, run for lieutenant governor. We have 51 seats available to run in the House of Representatives. We have 25 seats available to run in the Senate. Run. Put your hands to the plow. Let's put our hands together. Let's put more hands on the net and let's hoolie the system. Let's change the trajectory of what our state has been going for the past 50, 60 years. Because enough is enough. And change, we need change now more than ever. Not for us, but not just for us, but for the future generations of the islands of Hawaii. So my name is Junior Tupai. I'm running for lieutenant governor. My website is votetupai.com. Check us out. But in the end, more so than a website or a lieutenant governor position, let's put the people first. Let's reach out and let's move more than anything with aloha.
Thank you for being on the show today, Junior. I couldn't agree with you more. I think you got 100%. I think you got an A+ today. I don't know if you're OCD like me, but there you go. You get the A+ today.
Awesome.
Thanks for being on the show, brother.